Welcome to 13 minutes of gig news in 13 minutes or less. All right, the DOL announced the final rule change is now going into place May 2023. Okay, guys, so that's what? We're at the end of January. We got February, March, April. There's going to be 3 months after the end of at the end of this month. There's going to be 3 months before the rule change goes into place. So, some people had estimated it would happen right out of the gate. Some people estimated it'd be the end of the year. Some people looked at it'll be fought and pushed back at least 2024. But now we have a formal date. A formal date. It is out as of today, May 2023. It will start. The new rule from the U.S. Department of Labor, the DOL, is going to have a huge impact on every small business in this country. It will be using the model of California's AB5 legislation, a complete fail across the board. Now, guys, do not get this confused. I am not bagging on Prop 22. That is a different subject that I have views on, but do not confuse these. Prop 22 was put in place because of AB5. AB5 on its own is pure trash legislation. What it does, takes away the rights of every independent contractor in this country. And I'm not just talking about the gig economy, I'm talking about everybody. And it establishes the ABC test, but instead of a 3-prong, they're going to use a 6-prong. But now it looks like they're battling to maybe just use the ABC test. The problem is, if you guys are familiar with it, the B prong doesn't work. It is biased by 99% to make everybody fail, even if they are independent contractors and need to be classified as employees. You can see the breakdown complete on ridesharerodeo.com. Ridesharerodeo.com. It's today's post. It's the post from Saturday, January 21st on ridesharerodeo.com. Get in there, look at the details if you want to see what the ABC test is. Countless small businesses will be affected by this. I'm going to name off just a few companies that I have confirmation on. I've got a list of, if you remember the list of 605 businesses that were wrecked in California. Well, I'm not going to list something that long here, obviously. I'm under a time constraint. But I just want to list off the ones we already know are going to be affected. These are going to be affected. How exactly? Not sure. Companies could make deals and stuff, but this is the push for the employee model. Okay, so companies that for sure will be affected by this. Companies that provide transportation and delivery, rideshare and delivery, software development, artistic, accounting, legal, media, marketing, healthcare, medical, training, tutoring, and other professional, educational, and creative services will also most likely be in violation of this rule as it stands right now and will no longer be able to be independent contractors. So not good. There was one other thing I was looking for on this. So the real estate agents and sales representatives too, not all of them, but there are many who will. And this is huge, guys. The ruling will create even more confusion because it's still not consistent with most of the IRS's tax and reporting regulations. This is a huge point, you guys. Let alone the rules that the individual states have in place. No one is really sure who has the precedence. However, I can say this, if it comes down to it can go to battle forever, but at some point the states will give up because the federal law will, it's not like we're going to go back into a civil war, hopefully, but the federal law, if you get enough push behind it, usually just throws money at the state until they get what they want. Obviously, this will do such harm to the country, and there will be so many federal lawsuits from business groups, ranging from industry associations, Chamber of Commerce, you name it. They're going to be all over this. But what's really important is that most independent contractors and freelancers don't want to be employees. How do I know this? Well, let's look at the numbers. Since the pandemic, an unprecedented number of small businesses have been created. In 2021 alone, there were 5.4 million new startup businesses in the United States. Okay? That's 54% more than in 2019, pre-pandemic, and it's 93% more than in 2020, the first year of the pandemic. So this is people who during the pandemic realized, you know what? I don't want to go back to work. And we know a lot of this, people left their careers and whatnot. Where have they been? Some haven't done this, but I mean, we're seeing the major increase of people saying, not only do I not want to go back to work, I'm going to work for myself and I can do it. And they're proving it. They're creating businesses, and the government doesn't like this. The government's like, no. You all need to be W-2s. And then we want you to have unions. Well, none of us want that. Okay. So again, ridesharerodeo.com, today's post, go in there. There's a few articles in there about the DOJ, but you can check them out and go into today's post, look it up, because there's all kinds of information on what is going on here. Most of these and most of the 5.4 million startups that are used here are in the gig economy. Okay, guys. So top 5 employment law issues employers face in 2023. So these are the DOJ's top 5 priorities. These also got released this morning. So I'm glad on a Saturday, this isn't normally the case, but that's why I took some extra time putting 13 minutes together today, because this is important. The 5th one brings it around, makes it kind of a little humorous. It's not, because obviously it's important. I just find it humorous that it's in the top 5 list. Let's roll through it though. This is in order of importance and which ones they'll be pushing the hardest. Usually the top 5 are the ones that get through. So number 1, classification of workers. Independent contractors will become employees. That is their number 1 push. Number 2, the future of non-competes. Non-competes, so they want to make everybody employees, they want to bring in the unions, and then they want to say that no company can give you a non-compete. So if you work in the tech sector, you can go get other jobs in the tech sector. If you work in this sector, you can go get other jobs in that sector. And if there's a lot of times that's fine, but there are a lot of times that can cause a lot of problems for a lot of people. So that's, again, this is all in Rideshare Rodeo. I think this is a different post in there today, but you can find it in there as well. Pay transparency laws. This one's pretty simple. I don't know why it's a top push, because it seems pretty straightforward, and it's something that everybody should do anyway, which is that you need to, if you're going to post a job, you need to put the actual pay with it. You can't put ranges, and you can't put, just send your resume to here. I think the problem is that there was a lot of, I think this goes back to cybersecurity. So too many people were getting on things like Craigslist or even Glassdoor and those kind of things and saying, hey, we need 10 people. And they were getting all these applications, resumes and things, and they were getting their emails, sometimes phone numbers and all that off the resumes. So I think a lot of data scamming was going on through this. So I think that's the reason for this, as far as I can tell. I was reading up on it, and there was about 10 points, but that seemed like the one that grabbed me. Artificial intelligence in the workplace. Okay, this is a big question, you guys, because while the hope in using these tools in the recruitment process is to reduce or eliminate bias, the use of artificial intelligence is not without risk and may give rise to employment discrimination claims, even on a class-wide basis. So the hope is that it'll correct that, and it's actually, there's a lot of data to say it will do the opposite. Now we're to number 5, you guys. discrimination based on hairstyles. And I told you guys this would round up kind of weird. So, creating a respectful and open world for natural hair, referred to as the Crown Act, I know, is a law that prohibits race and national origin based hair discrimination. Now, maybe I'm just not as familiar as others. I didn't know this was such a big thing. I thought we were more focused on race pockets and race inequalities over the hairstyle. I didn't know hairstyles were a thing. I didn't know people were getting fired for that. I thought, I mean, hell, the 80s happened. So why wasn't everybody fired in the 80s? But then I want to move into one last thing, guys, and you know how I feel about this. If you have a W-2 you love, if you really want that W-2, I empower you to do it. You know, in fact, I tell people to send out a resume every month to a job they never would have had a chance at before, because I think right now you got a lot of chance at getting that. But I want to throw out some stats at you guys, see what you think. So what are we, 21 days? So we're exactly 3 weeks into the new year, okay? Tech layoffs in 2023 so far, these are just from the big four, okay? Microsoft, 10,000 layoffs or layoffs. Amazon, 18,000 layoffs. Meta, 11,000 layoffs. Twitter, 3,700 layoffs. So here's the bigger picture, though. This is by CNBC an analysis that happened yesterday, that these are the companies who have already announced there will be more layoffs, because you're going to hear some duplicates of the ones I just read. Snapchat, Robinhood, Salesforce, Twitter, Tesla, Lyft, Meta, Microsoft, Alphabet, Netflix, and Amazon. All in the next 2 months have layoffs already scheduled. So there's way more coming. And that's 13 minutes of gig news in just under 13 minutes. Have a great week. Peace.